got some water? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. For hosting us. I've been talking so... Every time I think about Trump, I get allergic.
Okay, Hillary Clinton joking. It was an allergic reaction to Donald Trump that caused a nearly 2-minute coughing fit in Cleveland over the weekend. But Trump campaign manager Kellyanne Conway had a different explanation. Here's what she tweeted. She said, "Must be allergic to media." Finally spent a minute with them. With me now, former Republican presidential candidate Dr. Ben Carson. Dr. Carson, it's so interesting because, several doctors, including you, have actually questioned her health, not over the coughing, but for other issues, the concussion that we now know about. What if she has this kind of attack during a debate, even if it is she gets a frog in her throat or she's got a cold or whatever? I mean, does that make a voter question her stamina and her physical health? Does that, do you think, play into the voters' minds a little bit?
Well, I think a little common sense goes a long way. If you were about to embark upon a dangerous expedition and the leader of that expedition was exhibiting some signs of ill health, you would want that investigated before you went on that expedition. And we're about to go on an expedition here as a nation. And I think it's very fair for us to know what's going on with the leader of that expedition, whether it be Donald Trump or whether it be Hillary Clinton. Common sense dictates that.
Do you think that, we were looking at a recent Fox News poll, and voters are concerned about the health of the next president, whichever one it's going to be. 24% concerned that Hillary Clinton might not be physically fit to be president. 15% feel the same about Donald Trump. She's 68, he's 70. How important is this? I mean, do you think that voters should consider the possibility that, like, a Mike Pence or a Tim Kaine, might be president, considering the age of both candidates?
Well, as people get older, a lot of things go wrong with them physically. And if there's nothing wrong with you, what's the big deal? Just go ahead and have a physical examination and have the records released. I know Hillary Clinton says they've been released, but we're talking about records that are over a year ago. There's a reason that people are admonished to get an annual physical exam.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know that the president always does do that, but it's, of course, after they've been elected. I want to move on to something else here. We've been following, of course, what President Obama has been doing. This is very interesting. He is now backing Colin Kaepernick's silent national anthem protest from football. Listen to this, sir.
He's exercising his constitutional right to make a statement when it comes to the flag and the national anthem and the meaning that holds for our men and women in uniform and those who fought for us. That is a tough thing for them to get past, to then hear what his deeper concerns are. If nothing else, what he's done is he's generated more conversation around some topics that need to be talked about.
And of course, what he's talking about is the issue of race and violence against African-American men in the country. But do you think that that's the right message from the President of the United States to once again get involved in the issue of violence against one particular minority in the country?
I would think maybe the leader of our nation might be reminding him of the circumstances under which the Star-Spangled Banner was penned. Talk about Fort McHenry and that night and what it means and about all the people who've given their lives for the freedoms that we enjoy. If you're going to wait for the United States to be perfect before you will be patriotic, before you will stand because our national anthem is being played and our flag is being presented, then you're going to be waiting forever. Because there are no perfect people, there is no perfect nation, and there never will be. So, that's the kind of thing that the president should be a cheerleader for patriotism. And if you look historically at nations that have faltered, one of the problems is when people become unpatriotic.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you something. I know that Donald Trump was in Detroit over the weekend. He's really trying to reach out to the minority population in Detroit, in particular the African-American population, by speaking at that church. What was the reaction from the community there to Mr. Trump's comments and his presence there, just in general?
Well, it was incredible, just incredibly welcoming, you know, standing ovations. Of course, the cameras tried not to show that, and you know, the narrative that many of the mainstream media presented, you know, tried to concentrate on controversy. But in fact, it was more like a love fest, particularly, you know, when the prayer shawl was presented. And, you know, later on when he came to my old neighborhood, people were very friendly, outpouring. You know, these are the things that we need to emphasize. And really, instead of the left talking about too little, too late, they should be celebrating the fact that a Republican is reaching out to communities that they traditionally have not reached out to, and that we're all trying to formulate a way that we can create success in our inner cities, because we cannot have a successful nation if we don't have successful cities.
Especially at a time when many say that the Democratic Party has taken the African-American community for granted and those votes for granted. Dr. Ben Carson, thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to have you on tonight. Thank you.